right, so yes, we are here. It is episode 3. Welcome back to our Ponderers. We are here with our experiments too this time because this time, our episode 3, we've decided to talk about Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, we figured
That was
it,
our
it came out this past weekend, and
Yeah, exactly. So as of our recording right now, it's not out yet, but by the time you are listening to this episode, it will be. We are eagerly anticipating it. It's a movie that we both love. And we've actually we've watched the show. You've seen, I think, more of the sequels than I have. So you
yeah,
have some insider information on the
yeah,
Lilo and Stitch world.
I get made fun of a lot by my wife that you're watching Lilo and Stitch again, and
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah, I get that a lot too. As you can see, I've got, so for our listeners at home, you cannot, but for our watchers, you can see I've got my Lilo and Stitch t-shirt on. I could have head to toe worn nothing but Lilo and Stitch items. I decided not to today. And I also could have brought my little Stitch doll. I had opportunities galore. We're also joined by Remy today. You might hear a little bit of a collar sound in the background. So we are swapping out our animal guest. But yeah, exactly. It is. It's one of my all-time favorites. I love this movie so, so much. I think it's fantastic. Um, all right, so let's kind of just jump into it. Let's go in, I guess, with our characters,
yeah, that's a good way to start.
right? That's how we get to know everyone. So let's start with our title too. We've got our Lilo and our Stitch.
Yeah,
Ugh, Lilo. She is one of my favorite kids in the entire Disney universe.
yeah, no, absolutely. Like the way she goes about a lot of things makes me laugh every time.
Just a raw introduction to this child. First, we have the photos,
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. And then we get into our hula performance, completely soaking wet, and we have the explanation of Pudge the fish.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've never heard anything better than the child believing, one, that Pudge controls the weather, and two, explaining cannibalism to an adult who clearly did not understand the travesty of trying to feed Pudge tuna fish. What is
yeah.
that? She bites another child. So this is all within our first, 5 minutes of meeting Lilo. She bites
Yeah.
another child and then manages to disrupt the entire performance.
Starts off with just chaos.
Exactly. Just a wrecking ball of a human being. And I love that energy the entire time. I like watching the chaos of her. And you can see that same chaos with her family too, with Nani, but the goodness that shines through these characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of that, then we also have Nani on our list.
Oh, yes. Nani, who again, is phenomenal. You watch this as an adult, it's a different movie than when you're watching it as a kid. So I was young enough when Lilo and Stitch first came out. I was 12. I think it's 2002?
I believe so. Yeah,
Yes, I would have been 12 years old. And so I'm still in that age, can see it as a kid. I can see it kind of as a kid. But as an adult watching it, and you see Nani and you know that this girl is 19, 20, taking care of her little sister,
yeah.
running this life. She's amazing.
Still a kid by herself.
Exactly.
By all means. And
her losing her mind. I like this scene too. Oh, gravity is pulling me down.
Yeah.
It's gotten heavier just a spot. Same thing happened last week, Lilo.
yeah,
Right? It's that
classic.
energy. It's fantastic. Yeah, that little unit of 2 is absolutely adorable, but of course we have David that kind of steps in too and he's helping them out.
Yeah.
Such a good-hearted character. It's all 3 of these people, all 3 of these characters, and their basic goodness that shines through. You see them taking circumstances that are so crazy hard, which is a common theme in our Disney movies,
Yeah.
but really making the best out of it. I love the energy of that little unit.
That's definitely a good thing. But I wish they kind of had more of David in the movie.
Yes, because I feel he's kind of we're going to go back to our untapped potential. But yeah, I feel David, long term, he's probably been doing a lot for a while to keep that little family unit going. And we give him some credit, and especially at the end we can see the little snapshots as we go through the credits. But I really feel David was probably a huge part of how their day-to-day actually functioned and what they had going on with each other. Yeah, I think we could have seen more David for sure.
That would have been a good one.
We are also joined by a Yeti. You're going to hear more sounds now. All right, well, let's go back to our other core. We've got the other half of our dynamic duo, and that's Stitch.
Yeah.
So for all of the chaotic goodness that we see in their house, that's literally personified in one tiny body in Stitch.
Yeah, no, I like the part where she shows him the graph of his badness. And
the drawing. You'll see here that your badness level is unusually high for someone of your size. That's one of my favorite lines. I've used that numerous times in my actual day-to-day life. Badness levels get unusually high in many people. Stitch and his wild chaos energy. I like his first introduction when you see him because Stitch is very much so. He does not care. He is not a good creature to start with. Stitch is just chaos. He's just energy. He has the potential to go anyway, which I think is probably true of a child. We're watching like a nature versus nurture kind of thing going on here. But in the beginning, like he's using Lilo as a human shield at numerous points to try and keep himself safe.
Yeah. And then I also like when he realizes he's on an island, like he's panicking and he's on the tricycle going around the island.
Edge to edge to edge.
And then Lilo hits him with it's really nice living on an island with no big cities. And the moment of panic on his face.
Exactly. He'll automatically be drawn to large cities where he can cause chaos and mass destruction. And then her turnaround line and just his, It's one of my favorites. There's so many scenes like that are just so perfectly paced in time. As a kid, it's funny, but as an adult, you're like, oh, that's delightful. That still holds up so, so well.
Oh, yeah.
And we do. So if we're looking at that line, exactly, we have Jumba there who the personality, okay, and I don't know if we can really separate Jumba and Fleekly because that is a dynamic duo if ever,
they work out perfectly.
Yes.
Complement each other perfectly.
You need the two sides of that coin all the way. But yeah, we have Jumba who is just absolutely, unhinged. The man is out of bounds. His crazy experiments, whatever he was trying to do with all of those, we've just watched him go off. And then we have Fleekly, the model citizen who's just trying to follow the rules and save, of course, the mosquito population.
Which brings us to Cobra Bubbles.
Yes.
What an amazing character.
I know. Saved the planet once. Convinced an alien race that mosquitoes were an endangered species.
The worst bug in human history.
All time.
And he convinces them that is...
We gotta save him, man. We gotta save him. That scene where Pleakley is standing still and they land on him, absolutely amazing. So yes, those are our basic characters, and they do. Oh, you know what? I forgot. We're going to go back to our aliens for a second, too, because I'm going to throw Gantu in there. I like his vibe. The unhinged menace that he brings. He's the closest that we're going to get to a bad guy in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And we don't have, full villainy from anybody, which is, again, one of the things that I like is we're kind of, looking at everybody through, a shade of gray kind of lens. Nobody's completely good. Nobody's completely bad. But Gantu's as close as we're going to get because his complete willingness to follow the rules. And at one point, I'm pretty sure he's willing to sacrifice a human child to do so.
Yeah.
He
calls her a snack.
Yeah, exactly.
Leaving the planet.
I guess it is a little concerning. Maybe he is our flat out villain.
I believe he is the main villain. In
that
movie.
Could be it. All right. So as we're breaking these characters down, you know what we're just going to go in for because I want to know who's your favorite. If you had to pick one on this list, who's your guy? Who do you like the best?
The original movie?
Yes, we're going to start with just the original movie because exactly, we have a lot of world to work with in the Lilo and Stitch universe.
I really love Cobra Bubbles. To be honest with you, the fact that he convinced the Galactic, the Galactic Alliance that the mosquito was an endangered. That in itself is incredible. That.
Mm-hmm. The amount of presence he has with just the few number of lines too.
Oh yeah.
This meeting did not go well.
Yeah.
And then the little glasses pop out. Yeah, Cobra is he's rocking some strong energy. For me though, I've got to go Pleakley all day long. Yeah. I'm a creature that's made of drama and being too much, and that is Pleakley's inherent energy all the time.
Yeah.
He's going to show up to any situation, be over the top, usually in some kind of costume or elaborate outfit, okay? And just completely off course. So that's going to be me all the way.
100%.
All right. So the other thing that I want to kind of go through is as we're looking at this movie, because this came out at a really interesting time, they did some really, really fun things with the way the movie was set up. They're working with a renaissance in Disney animation. They're kind of coming back into this, but it also is a little bit under the radar. They're still kind of playing fast and loose, and it has some edgy humor, and it goes into some different places. Lilo and Stitch is kind of different than a lot of their other movies because it feels a little less structured and a little bit more, to me it always has anyway, and a little bit more, again, we're kind of cobbling something together the same way that the family is. We're putting all these pieces together and they make something greater than the sum of their parts. So as you're looking through it, what are your favorite scenes? What are some of the things in that movie that stand out to you and have always made you laugh or cry or whatever it is?
I like the part where Stitch hijacks the gas truck.
Yes.
And then crashes it into the volcano, and then punctures a hole to get blasted. And then just to hear his Yahoo that he gives as he's flying through space. Well, through the air, not space. But either way, it's just that gets me laughing every time.
That's always a great one. I do like that a lot. He's just got that complete cool. I'm I'm pretty sure I'm inflammable. Let's just do it, man.
And this shows how much chaos he is made of.
Right, exactly. You give him just this much and he's going to go full blast on it. I also, one of the things that always reminds me too of that same kind of vibe is Lilo when she's in the bedroom with him and she's like, can't you do anything productive? Like, can't you just build something? And he, okay, cool. And he builds the entire city, meticulously recreates San Francisco out of these tiny little blocks and everything, and then instantly becomes the monster and smashes everything. Like, that's one of my favorite scenes of all time. And again, it's like perfect me energy. I remember being a small child and building things and be like, and now I shall be Godzilla and I shall smash Tokyo. So I've always enjoyed that too. That always stuck out to me.
That's a good one. Another good one is when they're at the luau and David burns down the stage.
Poor David, he's trying so hard. That and like the combination of that scene when Stitch is pulling the cake back out of his mouth and trying to
reconstruct, just
reassemble that little piece for Lilo.
That one's good.
That little journey of him trying to learn like goodness and her trying to teach him too. Like the way that she defines, because Lilo too, she's struggling to find her place. We see that in the beginning. She doesn't fit with these little girls. She's still trying to figure out where she fits in her family. Nani used to be her sister and now is kind of her mom. And she's like searching for it. And so she finds her place. Lilo finds her own like sense of purpose in helping Stitch find his, in teaching him like what family means and goodness is. And so I like that progression as we watch him kind of like literally try and piece together what it might mean to be a good person or whatever. And she's patiently trying to work him through that. The other one that always sticks with me, of course, is Ohana. Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. Not only when she tells him that the first time, but at the very, very end, when he's in the little handcuffs and he's walking across the beach and he stops and he says, he literally asks, can I say goodbye? And you watch the Supreme Alien just stop and look at him. This is my little family. It's not, what does he say? This is my family. I found it. It's not perfect, but it's good. And all these like little pieces that still good. Is broken, but it's good. Still good. And watching him, in that moment, like that literally even now can almost bring me to tears, because it is like, it's the truest definition, I think, of family. That sense of choosing somebody else and choosing to love them and choosing to see the best in them and really try for them. And that message, almost more than any other Disney movie, has stuck with me into my adulthood. It's one that I absolutely love. I know I'm watching. So just a small aside, exactly for all of our listeners and viewers at home, Yeti is here and investigating the entire situation. We are Animal City today.
Yeah, he is my version of Stitch. He's just straight chaos.
I was going to say, I feel like they can sense the animal energy that we have going on in the episode, and they were like, cool, we'll bring the chaos to go ahead and fit in with the vibe.
Considering Remy snuck out through the cat gate to get down here to
I know. They're putting a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
So like that kind of breaks down our movie. That kind of takes us through some of our movie, or at least the original movie. But of course, like we said, like the Stitch universe expands out from there. So you have Stitch the series, which is, for those that do not know, as we're looking, because our movie, of course, we're looking at Stitch's experiment 626, but he is not Jumbo's first experiment. Nope. That implies that we have many, many other experiments beforehand and after.
625 previous experiments.
Exactly. And so the show is taking you through some of those other experiments and seeing what they do. So I wanted to break down, and now as I was going back through, it turns out I remember some of the experiments really clearly and others not so much. So what are your favorite experiments from the show?
There was a couple, but one that, or two technically, that stuck out was Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes! Okay, they were like that for me too.
Yeah. The fact that they were just, I mean, obviously they were after Bonnie and Clyde, like just causing chaos and stealing, and
even the way they were styled too. They were such a cute little duo. I liked all the different visions for the experiments, because the other one that I remember really well is Chomper. He was that little yellow guy that would always be chewing on stuff or whatever. Okay. He was super adorable. I remember him being super cute. And I remember one that looked like a sheep.
Yeah, that was the one that put you to sleep. I don't remember his name.
Drowsy or droopy or something like that. But the different views on the experiments, I thought that was such a fun way to expand that world. I always liked following them on their little adventures.
But I think my favorite out of all the experiments has to be 625.
Experiment 625.
Which is basically had everything Stitch had, but the only thing is he was a coward, lazy, and loved making sandwiches.
That's all he wanted to do. The same potential. Just wants to live the Shaggy Scooby-Doo kind of life.
I'm down for that. Like someone to hang out, watch TV, and make me a sandwich, I'm in.
I have all the raw, unlimited potential of chaos, and I've decided we should have Sandos, my man. We should have Sandos. I know that's not a bad vibe. The other one that we had that I'm always stuck out, but of course was never a favorite, was Angel. Which number was she? She was 6'2", 6'7"?
No, she was. I think it was 6'2", 3".
6'3",
Like,
maybe, or something like that.
Before.
And she was, because she was one of the ones that was genuinely like evil.
Yeah.
Genuinely just nothing but a problem.
She tricked everybody.
Exactly. Makes Stitch look like a walk in the park.
That hypnotized all the other experiments and everybody.
Exactly. There was a couple that had that power too of hypnotism. I always liked how the rules kind of worked within that too, that not necessarily, like, not all experiments could interact with each other. Their powers didn't always work on each other. Some of them did. Like, I remember at one point Lilo putting Stitch to sleep using one of the other experiments at one point. I liked the way that those powers interacted. I feel like now as an adult I could still, like, there could be like a dark version of that, like very Stranger Things toned, where we're watching all of these different experiments completely break loose in the world.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing, of course, we have is the live action movie. It's coming out relatively soon. Now, this is one I'm super curious as to your take, because we've seen this with Disney a lot, where they take their original animated and they make them into a live action. Sometimes, to me, they're wildly successful. And sometimes to me, not so much. So what are your thoughts as you look at this one? How are you feeling about like the Stitch remake?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited too, because I love like the Zach Galifianak. I can never pronounce his name right, but
yeah,
I loved him in like The Hangovers and all the movies he does. He always makes me laugh. So to have him play Jumba, I think at first I wasn't 100% sure how, but it's growing on me. I really like the idea.
I know.
I think he's gonna be good.
I think I do like him as a voice too, because exactly like I do. I think he's really fun. Zach Galifianakis is done. He did the Hangover movies, and he also did Due Date with Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
And I loved him in that too. He was really, really fun. Like the way that he plays off of that energy. I think that he brings like a lot of chaos. And there is something to Jumba where exactly Pleakley is your straight man and then Jumba is your absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Even at the end where he's got him like all done up in handcuffs and now you want me to let you go and blah, blah, blah. And we're supposed to go and find this child and blah, blah, blah. All right. Yeah. What are you talking about? Well, he's very convincing. Yeah, I can see Zach Galifianakis doing a great job with that. I'm excited for this one for sure. I think that it helps that Stitch already has like such an animated face. Some of the movies that haven't worked as well for me are like I wasn't a huge fan of the Lion King adaptation. For me, there's something that you really lose when we translate from that animated lion cuteness into like the real world lion face. Yeah. Simba's face is just not as cute when he's singing to me. But there's something about the Stitch and the way that he's been animated in some of those trailers that I think that we keep a lot of like the essence of him and like the presence of him on screen. So I'm really excited about that. So yes, in terms of like the live action, so I'm super, super excited. I know some people are very bummed about Pleakley so far in our trailers and his lack of costumes, which does bum me out too, because Pleakley, he's got a sense of style. I have to say, in the animated movies, I like his jazz. I like the hair. I like the costumes. I'm still excited to see him in a live action, but I like that little bit of funk and personality. But overall, I'm super jazzed. I think they've done a really good job of translating the animation style, and I'm excited to see what the character, like, I know that they've added another 23 minutes, and so I'll be curious to see what that adds in terms of the story that they're telling.
For sure, that's definitely going to be. I'm truly excited to see what they come up with, and I'm a little nervous because like the first movie was so great.
Mm-hmm.
To change a little bit in the live action, it's kind of making me nervous.
I know. I like when they add into the live action, but it's really important to me that the original story that we fell in love with, that those elements stay there, because it's the kind of thing like that story. There's a reason that you like it so much, the personality on these characters and stuff like that. It's really, really key. The other thing that makes me a little bit nervous in terms of a live action adaptation is Lilo, because Lilo has such a distinct personality. I'm not sure how much of Lilo, because when she's being played by an actual little girl, it's really key that you have like the same kind of sass and personality. Lilo has a little bit of a melancholy darkness.
Yeah.
You have the pickle jar in the beginning where she's punishing her friends.
That's true. So I totally forgot about the pickle jar.
It's amazing. Just that moment when she takes Cobra Bubble's card. These are my friends. They were being bad. There's a lot going on in that child's head. So I'll be curious to see what that's like in terms of the human casting, not just like the CGI or the animated, like our characters that have gone from animation into like a CGI transformation and the voice work that goes with them, but what our human actors do too, because Lilo's a character that I think is going to be maybe hard for a little kid to really capture the energy of. Um, but again, curious. I'm definitely excited and we'll see what happens. I've got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I mean, I got a feeling it's going to be good.
I know. That's the goal. All right. So you've seen the second Lilo and Stitch, right? And the rest of the animated. Now, do you think that those are worth going into? Are they movies that are worth checking out, or should we check like see on a future episode? Would you recommend them to people as someone that hasn't seen them? What do you think?
Uh, I, the second one where they introduced the other 625 experiments, like
Hmm.
the start of it for the entrance to the TV show,
Right.
I thought was pretty good.
Okay.
And I'm drawing a blank on the third one where
I know, right? Because
there's
it's
actually I think there's four of them.
I know. There's at least like one of the 1.5. I feel like they did the same thing that they did with The Lion King, where they broke it out into like a mini part two. Maybe we'll have to dive back into Lilo and Stitch at some point too. Maybe we'll have to look through these second episodes or the second movies and see if there's anything else there
Yeah,
because it is one of those movies that I love and have always loved. So maybe after we end up watching the live action movie,
yeah.
we'll have to come back to it and see what we think.
There was I think the second one was Stitch has a glitch,
Yes,
and
that's right.
then there was Leroy and Stitch,
Yeah.
which I just watched that this weekend.
You're unlocking deep childhood memories
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
they were they were definitely a big part of my childhood.
I know. Stitch, yeah, Lilo and Stitch is one of those great ones that I feel like, again, and it's aged really well. It sticks with people. Some of the others from when I was that age, like I haven't loved as much, or they don't stay, like they don't have the same kind of resonance for me. And even though I wasn't like a super little kid when I first watched Lilo and Stitch, it still was like, oh, this is an excellent time. Like I love this
Yeah,
movie.
there was definitely a lot of stuff that stuck with me, and like you said, there's always like lines that you still use to this day.
I know, I know. It's surprising how much I quote this movie in my day-to-day life. Really, it's the badness level. It's shocking to me how many people have high badness levels for their size. Often it's me. All right, well, I think that that kind of covers our stuff for Lilo and Stitch. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I think we pretty much got everything.
Fantastic. All right, well, we want to hear from you guys too. Let us know, what were your favorite experiments if you watched the show when you were a little kid? What were your favorite moments from the movie? What did you absolutely love about it? Have you seen the new movie? Because, like I said, by the time we're posting this, it's out.
Yeah,
Tell us what you thought of that. Let us know if it was worth a watch, how it compared to the original for you. We would love to hear your thoughts on Lilo and Stitch. It's one of our favorites. Like I said, we could talk about it
yeah.
forever. So, anybody that has any thoughts, please share it with us. I'm Lauren.
I'm Joe.
And we are the Pop Culture Ponderers. Please be back next week as we have more things to ponder, more questions to ask, and places to go in the wide world of fandoms.